This guy's not no slouch. This is light work for this young man. Thank you for letting us know we're live, David. How are y'all feeling out there in internet land? Welcome to the Soscast. You know, usually all we talk is money. Lately, we've been talking dating, relationships. But today we're talking about pursuing your passion. And we got the motherfucking king of the jungle in the house. We'll show a video in a second. Mike Holston, the Real Tarzann. So today, ladies and gentlemen, bring your sunscreen, get your bug repellent, get your little safari hat on, bring your book bag, because we're going to the jungle with the king of the jungle, Mike Holston, Tarzann. Welcome to the show.
Dude, thank you for having me, man.
Of course, brother.
It's an honor.
Good to see you, man.
Freaking love you, man.
I haven't seen you since the pandemic started.
2 years, huh?
It's been 2 years. 2 long years.
Time flies.
Time does fly. Right. You look better than ever.
You do too, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. This is a love affair right here.
Handsome
so
guy.
thank you. As always, we have our lovely Amber in the house. No restrictions these days, apparently.
No more. Nuh-uh.
Right?
Yes. Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
How's it going?
Amber's back. Show love to Amber. And we have a new guest on the show, Yorita. Say hello.
Guys.
Introduce yourself.
Hello, guys. The Albanian princess here. And, yeah, let's make it a good Friday.
My favorite color, green. You know, all we talk is money.
Always.
So respect to that. But today we're going to get to know Mike, and we're going to have a discussion about pursuing your passion. You know, the debate out there is, should you pursue your passion? Should you pursue money? You know, if you can find out what your passion is, but also make money doing it, that's kind of the best of both worlds. I know that you're doing stuff like that. But to all our guests out there in YouTube, everyone watching on the internet, if you're not familiar with the Real Tarzann, we're going to show you a little clip, and you're going to be like, oh, I know this dude now. So let's roll the clip.
Tarzann in the house.
His name is the Real Tarzann.
My man, the Real Tarzann, came down.
24-year-old Michael Holston out on the water at night.
With its scenes of charging rhinos, savage pygmies, and the great hunter.
Tarzann.
It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep them going. Tiger style.
I'm a jungle brother.
Tiger style. It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep them going. How I keep them going. It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep them going. How I keep them going.
I'm a jungle brother. Jungle brother. Jungle brother. Jungle brother.
Damn.
There it is. It ends with a giraffe eating out of your hand. Dude.
Oh, my God.
Ladies, did you know that this is what he did?
Wow. Fuck the Tiger King. Where's your Netflix series? Where is your Netflix series?
Soon to be
Are you kidding?
Soon to be. Did you know that this is what he did?
I did know after I stunned him,
Okay.
yeah, and made the connection. Beautiful.
Amazing. So we're gonna establish who he is, who he became. But let's start with humble beginnings, because I kind of know your story from knowing you for a few years now. But how did this all get started? Who were you before you were the Real Tarzann? Go ahead, Mike.
I mean, I think I was just the same person I am today, you know, just loving animals, loving life. You know, I come from a family full of animal people, you know, ladies, the guys, the kids, the grandmas, they all loved animals, you know. So growing up, it was just like brushing your teeth or eating. It was just a part of your everyday life. It was the norm. Mm-hmm. Whether there's pictures on the wall or a dog in the house or a dog outside. My uncle downstairs would have like crickets and scorpions and gerbils he would breed and hamsters, and he would walk out his house with 2 parrots on his shoulder outside and their wings weren't clipped. And like, are they gonna fly away? He goes, watch, he'll take the bird and throw it and it'll fly and then come back. And I'm like, wow, uncle's cool, you know? Go to my aunt's house, she has a turtle. Another aunt has an alligator. You know, it's.
So the question that a lot of people get is like, is it nature or is it nurture? Do you grow to love animals or is it in your DNA? It seems to me this is in your DNA, in your blood, from your legacy, from your family. Mm-hmm. Break that down. Why this kind of your family had it, the uncle, the cool guy with the parrot. Then it's in your blood.
I just feel, you know, some people have things that are just passed down. You know, you have that championship blood of someone that's a track runner or someone that's just super smart and intelligent. You know, then you got people that are animal people. You know, and I feel my family is just full of animal people, and I got passed down the torch. You know, but instead of like not really half-assing it or like fully going with it, I really went with it like my whole life. You know, because it's all I knew. You know, it was like going outside was for animals. Being inside, I'm thinking about animals, or I'm watching animals on TV, or I'm reading a book on animals. You know, it's just everything revolved around animals my whole life from birth. And it was like that before I was even born. You know, when I talk about, you know, my grandparents' lives, you know, my cousins' lives before I was even born, you know, and they tell me all the cool, crazy animal stories, and then they show me the videos and pictures to back it up. It's like, wow, you know, that's cool, you know.
But where did the, I guess, intensity come from? Meaning, okay, it's in the family. Like, your whole family has had animals. They love animals. Dude, you've taken it to a whole nother fucking level. Like, you're tatted up. I don't know if you want to show everybody. Like, reptile. Like, you got scales all over you. Like, this is not only in your blood, you've taken it to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
So where does that intensity come from? Where's like, all right, my family loves animals, but yo, I'm going to be a freaking animal. I'm going to be the king of the jungle. Where's that intensity come from?
I think it comes from my grandma, honestly. You know, a lot of people don't know, but my grandma's like the actual real Tarzan. You know, she's done Tarzan-like things since I was a kid, and I'm just like, wow.
Like what?
It's like she would, you know, my first dog I had a Pekingese, which is looks like a Shih Tzu, small little hairy dog. You know, a lot of hair, but tiny. I mean, literally like the size of a loaf of bread. You know, like full grown. And this dog was trained like so well. Sit, stay, jump here, like sleep there, don't move. And it would listen. And I was like, wow, you can talk to animals. I'm a kid. I'm 3, 4, 5 years old, you know, and I'm like, you can talk to dogs? Like, you're just talking to them like how we talk, and it's listening, you know. And she's like,
So grandma.
My grandma, yeah. So as I got older, they ended up getting me a pit bull, you know, big pit bull. So a pit bull's way bigger than a Pekingese. And this Pekingese would train this pit bull from 8 weeks old all the way.
Dog would?
Yeah. My grandma would train
Train the dog to train the other dog.
She's training the dog. She's training the dog through the other dog.
Work smarter, not harder.
You know, and I'm like
the sheepdog.
Yeah, you know, she's like training. She's not even paying the pit bull any attention, and she's training the pit bull through the Pekingese.
Wow.
You know, and I'm like,
So the bottom line is, it's a legacy. It started with grandma.
Yeah.
Grandma's dogs training other dogs. It's got.
yeah.
So,
you know, long story short,
Yeah.
she would, you know, she could walk these two dogs down the street, and the pit bull's leash would be in the Pekingese's mouth, you know, and walking the dog, you know, and she's like, you need to be in the middle, and the other dog needs to be on the other side, and I'm going to be on the street side to protect you, to make sure no cars are going to come hit you, or you don't go in the street and get hit by a car, you know. So I'm behind them, watching my grandma walk a Pekingese, walk a pit bull, you know, and then.
Can we get a picture of what a Pekingese looks like? I'm having trouble. I know what a pit bull looks like.
Oh, for sure.
Our friend Eric, who produces
Pekingese
the show,
sounds like
has got.
an Italian dish.
I don't know if we can pull that up. But
Like,
while
can I
we-
eat that?
While we're, what's that?
How do you even spell?
David can't spell Pekingese, and Mike can help us out.
I think it's Pekingeese.
Yeah, I
That's
would never
silent
have guessed
G.
that.
That's silent G.
Yes, got a G
Never.
in it. I may
Okay.
have completely botched that spelling, by the way, but
Amazing with animals,
It's like
horrible with spelling,
Pekingese
Mike. It's all
is-
good.
yeah.
While he's pulling this up, ladies, I mean, obviously this is an animal guy, the animal guy out there. This is the Pekingese.
did I spell it right?
This one is walking a pit bull. I would have paid money to see it.
It's serious.
That's
you know,
amazing.
I'm serious.
It's the little ones that
The
have the big
Pekingese.
Yeah.
Feisty.
Her name was Tyson, like Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
She was that tough.
This little one, right
Yeah.
there.
Little ones
See,
are.
kind of like you, Amber. Tiny but tough.
Yes, I'm
Fierce.
scrappy.
Fierce and ferocious.
Though she be but little, she is fierce.
So my,
Yeah.
my question was going to be, obviously he's the animal guy. Ladies, are you animal ladies? Are you dog people, cat people? Like, where do you stand on animals?
I personally don't have any animals
No
just
animals.
yet. I do love them. I think I'm not ready to take on the responsibility just yet, because I know I would have to take care of them, and as of right now, I have different priorities. Eventually, yes, I would definitely want a dog and maybe a couple of cats. Maybe some chickens, depending on where I live.
Maybe some
depending
chickens,
on
yeah.
where I live,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
If I were to live in the mountains, then yeah, I will probably have
chickens.
anything and
Okay.
everything. But
like
Amber,
that.
what, you're an animal person?
For sure. My family, we would do this evil thing to my dad. Anytime he would go away, he'd come back and we'd have a new pet. So at one point we had like 2 guinea pigs, a hamster, a dog, a fish, a turtle. We've always wanted a bird in our house. We haven't gotten it. And one time I remember I went to one of those islands when like a friend took me on her boat and I came home with like 20 hermit crabs. And then the next morning, the thing was empty and they had spread throughout our house. So yeah, we love, and we have a dog that I've had since I was 13.
So how many
it's
animals
15.
currently in your household right now?
Just 2, a fish and a dog.
2.
Yeah,
Okay.
and our dog is 15 years old. It's a
Oh,
Yorkie.
no joke.
Nice.
Yeah.
So no animals, a fish and a dog. I'm the proud cat daddy of 2 cats.
Cat daddy.
Respect. Me and my ex-lady, we had some cats. I said, if this things go south, you're taking the cats.
And then you couldn't part.
And then things didn't work out with us. I'm like, I'm keeping the cats. You're not taking my cats. So I
Take
love
my
these
money,
cats.
keep the
So
cat.
Mike,
feel you.
obviously you've got probably a couple of animals on. How many animals you got?
I've got 2 cats as well.
Respect.
I've got a lot of dogs.
Respect to you, sir.
I'm a
Yeah,
cat
give us
dad.
all your animals.
I've got a lot of snakes, a lot of lizards, a lot of turtles. Goats.
What do you mean a lot? Like, give me an estimate.
A lot. Too many.
How many lizards?
About 25, 30
No.
lizards. Yeah.
25, 30 lizards.
Yeah.
You have a whole sanctuary?
Yeah. I
Okay.
got about 5 acres down south. Keep a
Homestead?
bunch. Yep.
Yeah, that's
bunch
the
of
place for the
there.
animals.
Yeah.
What other animals, other than like typical dogs, cats, even snakes? What other kind of crazy stuff you got running
Kangaroo.
around?
Monkey.
Kangaroo.
Yeah.
You have a kangaroo down there?
Yeah.
Kangaroo.
Kangaroo.
Monkey.
Yeah.
So I have a
What
question.
kind of monkey? What kind of monkey?
It's a ring-tailed lemur.
Okay. My favorite kind.
David, we're gonna probably need you pulling up these animals. We don't know half of them.
And also, a very important question: can these animals live in an environment like a home? Is it
Yeah.
okay for that? For this?
So
Okay.
the animals I have.
His
are-
roommate is a kangaroo. He's a 2-bedroom, and then
Yeah, we're lucky to be here in Florida because the climate's hot and humid. You
Yep.
know, there's no harsh
Tropical,
winters. It's tropical,
rainforest,
so
yep.
it's kangaroos are from the desert. They're from Australia. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but they do live in type of grassy areas, so they have humidity. They also have extreme dry, arid temperatures as well. We don't really have that here in Florida, so they don't really get this. I wouldn't call it suffering because they adapt naturally in their environment like that, but they do fine here. The snakes I have or lizards I have are from like Thailand or like South Africa, so the climate's very similar, as if I had animals from a rainforest. And, some parts of Florida, as you know, from Miami, it rains more than it's
Nice.
than it's nice, So some animals, it's perfect for them because it's the rainforest where they come from, and it rains 95% of the time. It's alive, on Earth. So they have that 5% where they're dry or they go bask or hang out in the canopy. There's no dry season, for certain animals.
So do you have a favorite animal?
I would say snakes.
Snakes.
Snakes,
Okay.
yeah.
Those are your
Why,
favorite.
why?
Why snakes? Yeah.
I just love snakes, man.
Why?
Snakes.
I read the Bible as a kid, and I remember thinking like Adam and Eve, and my name's Adam, and I'm kind of into the Eve thing and the snake and the apple. I was like, so from a kid, I'm like, yo, these snakes, and now I'm like, and then I saw Indiana Jones. That was a whole disaster.
Yeah.
But so why snakes? Because they're pretty scary.
I got my first snake at 4. So, I mean, like my own personal snake. I was catching them before that, but I was just always intrigued by their movements. I would see a worm and like a worm moves a little slow, but I saw a snake one day and it moved so fast, and I was like, wow, I want to touch it. Like I want to touch it.
Always like that.
I wanna touch
I
it,
want
girl.
to touch it.
I love snakes so much. One day I was a kid and I saw a dead rat, and their tail looks like a snake. But it was like underneath some stuff, so I pulled this tail thinking it's a snake, and I pull a dead rat off the side of the street, and I'm like, oh man, then I'm like, well, that's cool because snakes eat rats, so
Did you slightly freak out when you had a dead rat in your hand?
I thought it was a snake,
Okay.
but I was just a kid, It could have been a stick. I picked up sticks thinking they're snakes, and everything in my head is, when I was
Hoping
little.
for a snake, end up with a
Literally.
dead rat.
Yeah,
So it
that
happened.
was my childhood.
So favorite animal is a snake.
Yeah.
Ladies, do you have a favorite animal? If you could own any animal.
We're not talking spirit animal. We're just
We're
talking
gonna get to that in a
favorite
second.
animal.
Favorite
Okay.
animal, yes.
Dolphin for sure.
Dolphin.
Yeah.
Well, Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, but they're just super smart and they're empathetic and the way they communicate and the way they're loyal. They travel in packs. They also
Dolphin.
masturbate.
Are you familiar with that? Do dolphins actually masturbate?
They do. A lot of animals.
How does
masturbate.
that? A lot of animals masturbate?
What?
How? Who? Why? When? I
It's
get that
just-
animals have sex. Hello, you know,
Animals have
procreation.
hormones, man. You know.
So dolphins are out there being like, oh,
But how is this proven?
Scientific
they
research
see it. They
study.
use the coral.
Yeah,
Well, that's interesting.
it's funny.
wow. Do you not believe the animal expert?
No, I
He'll
believe
take you out
him.
there
I'm
with some
just-
dolphins.
I'm just saying,
You're gonna end up with
it's
dolphin
wild.
stuff all
Don't
over you.
Google
You don't
it.
need that in your life. What
Yeah.
kind of? What's
Interesting.
your favorite animal?
My
Your
favorite,
Rita.
I would have to say elephant.
Elephant.
Yeah.
Why an elephant?
I don't have a reason why. I think just without them, we cannot survive in our ecosystem, right? I mean, just like with any other animal as well. Sharks and so on. But yes, I would have to say definitely elephant.
Elephant.
But funny story, with snakes, that used to be my biggest fear ever, right? Until 2 years ago, I was in Peru, sitting on this, just doing plant medicine, and I was on ayahuasca. And when I tell you, I was
You were on
sitting-
ayahuasca?
I own
Throws that
Okay,
in
I'm
there.
listening.
Like,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
I was on
ayahuasca, you know?
ayahuasca.
They just threw that in there. Got dolphins
So just-
masturbating and doing ayahuasca.
Just
Let's have some
casually doing
fun.
ayahuasca.
That sounds freaking fun.
But no, just laying down on the, the floor or on the grass, because you do it, well, at least where I was, I did it in a forest, right? So I could hear any and every animal there existed, right? Because I was outside, connected to nature and whatnot. And I just turn around and I see a snake right next to me. And I'm telling you, this is not because I was on medicine. Even when you're on medicine, you're conscious. You're fully aware of everything that's happening, right? And the snake was just chilling there with me, and I saw it, and I touched it, and I was like, wow, this snake is so beautiful. So anyway, since then, I've never been afraid of snakes ever
Wow.
again.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's your
Ayahuasca.
favorite?
Yeah, it was ayahuasca.
Adam, what's your favorite animal?
Oh, I think my favorite animal is also my spirit animal, and that is a monkey / chimpanzee / gorilla. I can go from like,
I like that.
a manly gorilla dude to like more of a playful monkey, but it's somewhere in the ape species. Although
like that.
shout out to Valuetainment, I'm rocking the King
Lion.
of the Jungle, the lion today. This is our, our brand. So speaking of ayahuasca, is that something you've ever looked into or
I
done?
want to do ayahuasca.
Really?
I can
For
see.
sure. We're
Really?
not ready right now.
Yeah.
Because I feel you need to be at a certain point in your life.
Spiritual,
100%.
To get there. But some people do it faster than others. Some people do
Right.
it later than others. But one day I will go to South America, Central America,
Yeah.
Latin America, and have the ayahuasca.
Because that's where it goes
experience.
down, right?
Yeah.
It's the mother of medicine.
So we
So
have the
And what kind of
shamans.
animals are in that environment?
Peru, llamas, cougars,
yeah, you have a lot of llamas.
boas.
Yeah, there's a lot of cougars here in South Beach. That's a different kind of cougar, but
Yeah.
we capture
That's a
them, we
different
study
breed,
them,
yeah.
and we nurse them back to life. It's a different animal.
There may not be cougars in Peru, but for sure some in Chile, which are close,
Yeah.
all South America.
Border,
but
yeah.
Peru, tons of animals.
Really?
Tons.
Okay, so all right, so animals. You asked this question. Not your favorite animal, but your spirit animal. Is there an animal that captures your spirit,
For
your
sure.
essence? Who's that?
I would call it a black jaguar.
Wow.
Half
Picture
black-
David. Picture
A
David.
black jaguar or a green anaconda.
In Jungle Book, right? The black.
Well, I think it's a black leopard because it's from India, but yeah, same thing.
Okay.
Same thing.
Like
Okay.
sleek, and they're like.
There
They're
he is.
there, but they're not there.
Thank
They're
you, David.
protective.
There
Let's
you
pull
go.
up a picture here. This
They're
is
from South America.
This is your spirit animal.
Yeah.
Wow, bro, that is gorgeous.
So-
And you notice that it's not fully black. It's like leopard-ish.
Wow,
see the
that's
spots.
gorgeous.
Yeah, the spots.
They call them rosettes.
Oh,
Why?
nice.
It's like, I don't know, that's the word
Rosettes?
for them. Yeah, the rosettes. So a regular leopard,
Wow.
not a leopard, regular jaguar, which are, leopards have almost the similar pattern. They have a melanistic phase. So they both carry the same DNA. Just one, as you can see, is just a little bit darker. Still have the spots.
Have you
though.
met them? Have you met one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
love
what was
them.
it like?
It's like looking in the mirror.
Yeah. I could see you rolling up to the Jaguar and then be like, "Yo, what up, Mike? I've been watching your shit on the internet, bro.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for this."
I mean, there's certain animals you look at and you're like, wow, that's amazing when you see something in a zoo or a pet store, But when you look your spirit animal in the eyes or even touch it, it's just a different experience.
Wow.
It's
Okay.
captivating of your soul, I guess you can say.
I mean, you just stole some souls right here. I feel
Yeah,
like the ladies like.
Yeah,
"Ah."
I'm like,
Now, all right, spirit animals for you ladies. Do you what different from your favorite
I don't know that
animal?
I haven't figured that out yet. I don't think there's been an animal where it truly has spoken to me, where just like you explained it, it took your
Okay.
soul. So, I'm an earth sign, so I'm very grounded. Maybe I could maybe say a bee, but Again,
bee.
it hasn't really spoke to my soul, so I don't know.
Well, you
just
come back
yet.
to us on that.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah.
Bees good
now.
though.
Yeah.
Bees are good.
I
Great.
think-
we need bees.
Yeah, you cannot survive without them. So
Yeah.
hey. I feel
There you
that's
go.
how I am. No, I'm joking. It's too
Can't
much.
survive without with you. Okay, go ahead.
I feel like I'm a cockatoo.
Like a funny crazy bird.
They,
Pull up a cockatoo.
they
David.
have so much rhythm. Have you ever seen a cockatoo? Have you ever seen on TikTok, the cockatoos of TikTok? You got to check them out.
Yeah.
They vibe, man. And the other day I was at a wedding that was in Homestead and it was on an animal sanctuary. And this cockatoo, for the first time, it just like cuddled me. It like wanted to be like nestled and like liked being pet, and like they're communicative. They tell you what you want, like what
Oh,
they
wow.
want.
Let's see this video here, David. What you got?
Let's see.
Look at Amber.
Well, this one doesn't seem to be vibing.
shampoo. It makes it soft, it smells nice, and that's basically it. I just use
They're talk. They talk.
they were talking?
That was the cockatoo. They cursed.
Mike, is that for real? That
I'm not sure if the
the
audio.
like this is because
I don't think that's the cockatoo.
No, I don't think it's the
You picked the
cockatoo.
wrong
Speaking
one.
in
But
full-on
listen,
sentences.
Yeah.
no, there are like that. If you
Okay.
look them up on TikTok,
Gotcha.
they'll like curse you out. There's a video
Yeah.
of a cockatoo cursing out its owner. It's
All right.
so funny.
By the way, what is the smartest animal that you've ever encountered? Like, oh shit, this animal is
Dolphins impress me.
Really?
Yeah.
Dolphins are so precise.
Yeah.
because they
Dolphins-
masturbate.
Dolphins
Right.
and elephants.
Elephants.
Dolphins.
Dolphins and
I was gonna
elephants
say,
for
elephants are
sure
memory and
trip me
retention.
out. Yeah. Every time I'm hanging out with either one of them, I'm just freaked. Not
Would you
freaked
say
out,
also a
but-
gorilla? I mean, they can learn
Oh,
like
yeah.
so many words.
Chimps.
Shout out to Coco, right?
Yep.
Do you remember? Do you know Coco, the gorilla? You should.
It was a chimpanzee and a gorilla that shared some type of real experience with a human, and Coco was one of the gorillas.
She learned like
Sign language.
thousands of words in sign language.
Well, Robin Williams, right?
Robin Williams.
Yep.
What about Robin Williams?
I think he spent a lot of time with her.
A
Oh,
lot.
I know he was a hairy ass dude. I didn't know if you were saying that he might have been part gorilla. Shout out to Robin Williams. We love you. We miss you.
For sure.
There's Coco.
Yep.
Yeah, Coco's
Okay,
incredible.
yeah. So Jane Goodall, as an example, that has to be an inspiration.
Oh,
of you.
absolutely. Diane Fossey, Jane Goodall, Damien Aspinall, all these people in the primatology area, it just blows my mind.
Is that like something of the past? Like, are there other people? I mean, has that kind of faded in terms of like what's cool to hang out with animals and like pursue it? Like, it felt like it was something of the 80s and the 90s that was pretty prevalent, and now.
Well, you got to think a lot of animals aren't here anymore, you know, or their environments that were exploited back then, showing those interactions, showing that Diane Fossey, Jane Goodall feel of going to the jungle. But that's in the 80s. It's 2020 now.
Not
so
only
that's-
that, but we're experimenting too much, right? So
Well, yeah, for
now we
sure.
have a lot of animals that we're even eating, let alone that we're experimenting with.
I mean,
Science or
I
whatever.
feel like a natural question is going to come up this freaking COVID with the Wuhan lab, the bat.
Yeah, man.
Was it in a lab? Was it in a bat? Was it in a wet market? Do you have strong feelings on this? Where do you
I
think
do have
COVID
very
started?
strong feelings
Where do
on
you
it.
think COVID
know,
started?
When I first heard about it, it was the same thing. Wuhan, wet markets, which, you know, kind of sort of makes sense when you put it two and two together. I look at stuff from a nature's perspective, you know. So nature's been on a decline for decades. It hasn't been getting any better. It's been getting worse and worse and worse, you know. So if nature has a defense mechanism against a plague, which could be possible humans, you know, even though we are from nature and a part of nature, we're growing at a rapid rate where everything else is decreasing at a rapid rate. faster than ever.
Deforestation, you're talking about
Deforestation,
infringing on their land.
over-harvesting,
Yeah.
everything, cutting
Livestock,
down
too
livestock, all types of stuff is happening, you know, but Earth is big. You know, if we really dispersed ourselves and, you know, became more eco-friendly and sufficient of our resources that we're taking, I think we can do good, but nature ain't having what's happening right now to it, you know. So something like, you know, different wet markets around the world. You guys know what a wet market is, right? It's a black market. I wouldn't even call it a black market. It's a part of culture in other parts of the world that are the norm. It's like us going to Publix or Kroger or Walmart to get our food. They have spots in
Like Japan and
Japan,
Thailand.
China,
Thailand,
specifically,
Vietnam, Africa. I mean, everywhere. South America, there are
Not
wet
in Europe
markets.
and Western. It's
Not
mostly
really in Europe, you
Asia,
know.
Africa.
Yeah.
Here's a picture of a wet market. So
And
I mean,
it's
they
just
they
animals.
sell and for
They
to
survive.
eat.
They catch everything.
Yeah.
And if it moves, they catch it and they sell it and they eat it.
So, I mean,
know?
here's some images of a wet market with all sorts of funky different animals. But back to their initial question with these bats and what caused potentially COVID, Do you think it was actually from a bat, or do you think it came from a lab?
From what they're saying, they said that in a wet market.
What do you think?
There was a system of cages, right? One was a pangolin, one was a bat, one was a possum, and something on the bottom was chickens, right? And all these things pissed and shit and pussed and died, and all the nasty stuff that accumulated on the bottom. Someone took one of those bats or one of those things on the bottom, boiled it, ate it, got sick, spread a new virus.
But they already proved it that it was man-made, no? Like
I don't
it
think
already
anything's
came
been
out.
proven yet. That's sort of the big dilemma
That's
is
what-
like China won't let people in to basically investigate. And if you know anything about China's authoritarian communist regime, you're not in exactly to get straight answers. But there is the assumption that it did come from a wet market. And then there also is the opinion that it could have been from a lab. Not saying that they purposely put it out there, but basically, as you're explaining this wet market, the bat, the chicken, the possum, this.
That's a good way to cover something up and make it sound
a new version
cool.
of Old MacDonald.
No, yeah,
The bat,
a very scary version.
But you know, they make movies on them. You know, I watched a movie from 2011 that they made, and it was basically everything that happened and everything they said. So it's like, how did the pandemic happen in 2020?
2020.
But they made a movie about the same exact stuff in 2011. Just
Well, Bill Gates has been talking about stuff like this, about being weary of a pandemic. Anyway, so you're to button this down. You're thinking that if you could put odds on, there's an 80% chance it came from the wet market, the bat, 20% the lab, or if what are your numbers? Prediction.
bullshit. I just think I'm a nature guy, so forgive me. I know a lot of people have passed away, so rest in peace to the people that didn't make it due to COVID, people that lost their lives or their families or their businesses. When I say bullshit, I don't mean disregard those things that happened to those people, because that's real. But like a lot of stuff that was happening, the media wasn't helping us get real proper information, the government or whoever's in charge, the CDC or who, but they didn't give us proper information on what was actually happening. There was so much stories going around, so much drama, so much propaganda, and everybody's like, stay home for 2 weeks and everything will be fine. And then here we are 2 years later, and we got 3 new variants.
Gotcha.
We got to,
So
have proof.
Are you basically saying that it's kind of a cover-up conspiracy? They
Could be,
don't want us to know the truth.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, at the same time as well, when they said, I'm not a news guy. I'm on social media every now and then. I see shit on my Explore page. Something may pop up on World
Only
Star.
now and then with that following.
I'm a caveman. I got lucky, I guess.
You really did.
I got lucky in a time where social media was just hitting off, and I had a niche, and it just hit, and I went with it. I knew Adam before it even took off.
Yeah, I remember hitting up Mike when he had like 50,000 followers.
Yeah, I was just
I was
starting.
like, yo, what up, bro?
nothing.
I saw him brushing his teeth. It was on the Explore page, brushing his teeth while like a snake was all around him or something like that. And then your natural reaction is like, look at this fool, what's he doing? And then you click on his page and it's like, no, this guy is doing something. Oh wow, very special. So anyway, he's been grinding for a while. Here's what I want to get your thoughts on. We talked about Jane Goodall, some of the people who have really carved a legacy. As of 3 days ago, I believe it would have been the great Steve Irwin's 60th birthday. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Absolutely.
So what does he mean to you? What does Steve Irwin mean to Tarzann?
He means everything to all of us, especially people in my field of work. He gave us he took a cartoon, which was like a Tarzan or a Mowgli or a Jungle Book, and he made it in real life, and it was like, wow. I used to watch old school black and white Tarzan movies from like the 20s, 30s, or whatever, and they put them out, 60s, I can't remember, but and seeing Jungle Book, and like, wow, it's a cartoon, it's dope, I want to be like that. But then seeing someone like Steve Irwin, like, oh shit, like, you're not acting.
And ladies, you know who Steve Irwin is, right?
I can't put a face.
David, come on.
Hold on.
On top
I
of
can
this.
tell you.
I'm pretty sure I know him. I just cannot put his name and the face together, right? So
Crikey,
once I
my
see
is
him-
crocodile.
Yeah, he's Crocodile
Hunter.
Dundee.
Can you do your best Steve Irwin?
Oh,
Would you?
bro, like.
Oh yes, I totally know him.
Steve
Of
Irwin.
course.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go, Mike. Go.
I can go all day, man.
Oh, crikey. Yeah.
That was
so,
trolling. I definitely know.
But yeah, he's the GOAT, man.
Maybe a video, David, or something. So he is the GOAT. So again, what does he mean to you? What has he done to
I mean, he's
Your
my biggest
impact.
inspiration, man. You know, he inspires all these kids, including myself, to love animals. You know, if anybody loved a dog or a cat or a bird or a snake like myself, and you've seen this guy, you want to be just like him and nothing else. Nothing else mattered. You know, you don't want to be an NBA player or a movie star. You want to be Steve Irwin. You want to, if I could have shook his hand, I'd have cut my arm off and framed it. That's how much
Straight up.
Steve Irwin means to a person like myself, you know. But you can ask someone that would go their whole life dribbling a basketball and then finally, you know, look at this.
He's your Michael Jordan. He's your Muhammad Ali. That's probably the best way to put it.
Exactly.
Let's watch this clip of the great Steve Irwin.
Game over.
Game over.
And a big salty can easily hide in shallow, murky water. An offal in and around the water, and that creates a free feed for the crocodile. These bullet shells are a result of the fishermen getting scared. They see a croc, they think it's stalking them, boom! They take a pot shot at it. I'm here to help humans, but also protect the crocodile.
Like the GOAT.
What's his background? Like, how did he develop into this in the TV world? Like,
Same thing in his family. I think his mom and his dad were heavily in animal conservation, animal rescuing in Australia, and he just became a part of it, just being born into these. I think his father had a zoo as well too, and his mom also had some type of sanctuary or rescue she was a part of, and of course they made Steve Irwin, and then he grew up in the same. Australia's also built different. There's just animals
oh my God.
everywhere.
You gotta get with the program if you live in Australia.
If you're automatically Australian, you're already about that life.
You have to be.
But being with a mom and dad both in that same, you know, field of work and lifestyle, and then having a kid like Steve, you just bred the GOAT.
So,
you know, so
I remember watching Steve Irwin as a teenager, and it's basically Jackass, but not for idiots, like
Right.
for people that want to do stuff for the environment and animals and learn it. But the stuff that he was doing was beyond
Crazy.
intense, and he's basically influenced. You know, he was the original influencer. We talked about how Mike's social influence now, but he was the original influencer before social media. Who comes to mind that he has influenced? Obviously you, but who else is out there that's like, okay, it's me, it's
his kids, man.
Okay, his kids.
His kids have picked up the torch from where he left off and carried it amazingly.
Wow.
I mean, like, it's just
He's got a son and a daughter? What does he have?
His son's a spitting
Okay.
image of him, man. I watch his son
Really?
on Instagram, on TV. I'm like, dude, I'm rewatching the goat. Like, the goat had a baby goat, and the baby goat's growing up.
Can we
It's
see a
like,
picture of him, David?
Oh, it's amazing. It's a beautiful thing to watch Robert Irwin, you know, pick
Wow.
up the torch from his
Have you
father.
met the
Never.
family?
I would love to one day.
I'm
but
sure,
You
like that's
will.
something
For
that
sure.
I'm sure they'd love to
Absolutely.
meet you for
For
someone
sure, man.
that talks that highly about.
I would
their
cry
father.
if I met them. You know, it's like, you know, you can't. I don't even want to go there.
Really?
You know,
No,
it's
it's
like,
that- it means that much to you.
Yeah, exactly, man.
So his
Like,
kids have picked up where the legacy has left off.
for sure.
Anybody else out there that comes to mind that you work with, or some major
there's
influencers out
tons
there?
of people out there, man.
Who comes to mind
like,
for you?
Dr. Evan, Evan Antle. I think he's on Animal Planet as well. He does great work, you know, for animals. Who else? Damien Aspinall, the Aspinall Foundation. They work with gorillas. You know, they rewild gorillas. Steve Irwin went to go visit them, you know, some years back, made a video there and stuff. But just, you know, these people.
Are you connected to a nonprofit, or you have your own?
Yeah, I have my own. I'm connected to a bunch of them. You know, we love to help and do anything we can for
What's the
animals.
name of your nonprofit? Let's put it in the link below so we can make sure that it gets its
It's
notoriety.
Wildlife Foundation Corporation. So it's basically just regular wildlife, but it's spelled WYLD. You know?
WY, wild with a Y, wildlife.
Do you lose your shit when you see one of these assholes posing with an animal and
Yeah.
a gun? Do you like?
Yeah,
Lose it.
it hurts because it's an emotional thing I see. That's, you know, me seeing an animal being taken away from its life, its consciousness, for someone to have a photo or mount it on their wall. Yeah, it sucks.
It must.
But here's the side of it where if you're being real about it, it has to happen from their standpoint, because those people that are trophy hunting are paying a fee to go on a game reserve and pay lots of money. Fuck the morals, you know, they're paying lots of money to go hunt an old animal or a retired breeder or something that's on its last leg.
And you're saying that money helps support
that money
animal
is
conservation?
what they're saying helps support the protection of the animals.
And you think that's true?
It
So
could
like
be
one
true.
for the lives of many.
But the same thing you can say about the circus. You know,
Right.
the circus is a horrible thing, but no one said anything bad about the circus when they're donating $1 million a month or $100,000 a month for animal conservation from their
And
proceeds.
that's what they do.
But when the circus is not giving that money anymore to animal conservation, they could be making $30 million a month, but they're giving $1 million a month to protect animals. That $1 million got to come from somewhere else, and that's where the trophy hunt comes in.
Gotcha.
That's their, and you have these sustainable hunters that are doing it the right way, and then you have people that are out there are poachers that are going out there and snatching 15, 20 healthy breeding stocks of animals that the environment needs, the species needs, and they're just snatching their horns, or they're snatching their tusk, or they're just snatching a gorilla's hands to hold your cups on your table.
Is that really a thing?
That's a thing.
Gorilla's hands?
Yeah. And these are things that are sold
Like,
in
here,
wet
come
markets.
into my home, sit down. This is my living room table.
Yeah, well, let's have this conversation. So, we can shift maybe more to the money, financial, capitalist tendencies that even in the animal world, we talked about the wet markets and people buying and selling and trading and animal stuff. In your opinion, what's perfectly acceptable? What's unacceptable? And what is just downright illegal and immoral? Meaning, okay, it's acceptable to go deer hunting. You're following the law, whatever it is.
It's acceptable if you're a native in that land and you're hunting animals there to survive. You have no other means, especially if your government's corrupt and not helping you.
Like in Africa, as an example,
Like,
and you're
dog,
hunting.
if you see videos on and people hunting animals in Africa or in Asia that are native from that area and have no other means of resources, hey,
totally acceptable,
bro.
This is how they feed themselves.
Of course,
like when Native Americans would hunt buffalo.
But
or something.
here's where the line needs to be drawn. A perfect example in the Amazon. These tribes would catch a certain species of fish, right? They would dig a canal or a tunnel, and they would draw all these fish in, and they would take the fish and bait them, and then draw the dolphins in, and then kill the dolphins. Kind of fucked up to kill these dolphins because they're damn near extinct. You can kill these fish all day because there's millions and millions and millions of fish. But they don't care about the fish. They want the dolphins.
Gotcha.
But when the dolphins start going from 100,000 dolphins in this area to 10,000 dolphins, you're like, yo, dog, enough. No more dolphin meat. If you sell dolphin meat anywhere in any of these stores, we're shutting you down. And in parts of the world like that, you got some people like, yo, if we catch anything here, we'll fucking kill you to protect the dolphins. But we're talking about people that are in the jungle. How are you going to go to someone that lives on a floating dock in the middle of, the Amazon in Manaus, that doesn't have electricity, and you're going to tell them they can't catch this fish and eat it or sell it to the market? They got to feed 300, 400 people. That's their way of life. I got no problem with people doing that type of stuff if it's monitored, if it's like, hey, you can eat these fish, but you can't eat these dolphins. You can, if you got to catch some, crocodiles or snakes or monkeys, like, you're doing that if you're a local in there. You don't need to be doing that if you're living in the city. You know what I'm saying? It's just wrong. But then again, you got people living in the city going to eat meat, buying groceries from the store, buying chickens and steaks, and you ride past a dairy farm in Homestead, and you're like, fuck, dude.
Are you vegan?
I'm trying to be. I'm working on my diet, and that's just me being real, going through the motions of being a human and having a human experience, especially living with animals. I've got to the point from, I love to eat steak, to it's like, damn, dog. I rode past the dairy farm, and I smelled it before I rode past it. And I'm a smell guy. If I get a dirty smell, I work with a lot of dirty, nasty stuff, so it's hard to turn my stomach from yes to no. You know what I'm saying? So
before we go down that path, what's you said it's acceptable for if you need to survive and you're living in the Amazon as an example. What's completely unacceptable? All right, listen, everyone, listen up. Mike has to say that this is completely wrong. What's the worst of the worst out there that people need to stop doing, in your opinion?
Of course, illegal poaching. Of course, unregistered fishing nets that are, if you're in protected waters and you can't overfish areas, don't overfish them. Absolutely no. You know, if you can't, there's things that can't happen because every time they're happening, we're gonna suffer, and we're gonna die from it. The animals will be fine. They'll take a catastrophic loss, but they'll bounce back. You know, the ones that are gone are gonna be unfortunately gone, but dog, some shit's gonna happen eventually if we keep at the rate we're overfishing, over farming, over harvesting our crops. I mean, if you got people tearing down 400, 500-year-old trees to make a rice field, and then after, 4 years, that field the soil is dead, it's done. You can't grow a tree, you can't grow shit. So they're gonna go another couple meters down the street and then cut the next patch and do the same thing. But you just cut a patch of nourished soil that was there for I don't know how many years, and you made it unsoilable in 4 years. And you say, hey, I need more rice, because rice is what these people are surviving off of. Not the tree. But that tree is home to monkeys that are endangered, like lemurs in Madagascar. People are tearing these trees down to burn it to stay warm.
So a lot of it is survival based, you're saying?
Exactly.
Gotcha.
But how are you to say what's unacceptable when people are trying to survive to stay alive? I can't point my finger and say, hey, you shouldn't cut down that giant,
Yeah, but the rates for that, somebody doing that, using it for fire or whatever other essential needs, I think it's way less than, for example, a corporation going to just put fire on the Amazon, just like we saw a couple of years ago or so.
Yep. Like in Brazil.
In Brazil, the Amazon.
Right. And it's happening all around the world,
Again, when money gets involved in almost anything that you do, this is why we have the issues that we have, right? So
this is why people like this need to be held accountable.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, before we go down the path,
routes,
let's lighten it up a little bit, because this is a money show and we want to talk about different things. Let's talk about the first job you've ever had, and all of you. I want to hear your first job you've ever had. Was your first job with animals, or was it something else? What'd you have, Mike?
My first job was with animals. Working at the store called Petland. It was just like it's like Petco.
This is in New England.
This is in Atlanta.
Yeah. Gotcha.
I worked in a pet store. Probably think I was 17 to 18, and that was my first real job of like getting an actual paycheck.
By that point, you were already working with animals since you were 4 years old.
Yeah.
So you're like, this is.
I volunteered a ton.
Yeah.
I got $20 here or there, to clean up some shit at the pet store. But that was my thing.
So have you ever had a job not working with animals?
Yep.
What was that job?
I had one job. I came to Florida for about 11 months. My first time moving here, and I completely failed my mission of moving. So I had to go back to Atlanta and restart. And I had to get a job at a trampoline park. But I like to jump on trampoline, so why not? Shit.
And what were you doing there?
I was just like a court monitor.
Court?
You can't 2 people in a trampoline. No, only 1 per square.
Can't bounce
I'm going to blow my whistle. You go over there.
Okay.
But it was fun.
So that's the only job you ever had not working with animals.
Yeah, I worked there for about like 9 months. It was great though.
You had to deal with humans jumping around.
Yeah.
What's harder to work with, animals or humans that won't listen?
Humans for sure. But no, it was a fun job.
Amber, your first job you ever had?
Doing voiceover work.
Ever?
Wow. Yeah. I was 17.
Okay.
And I was doing cartoon voices.
Let's hear your top 3 cartoon voices right now.
Eat my shorts.
That's
Bart Simpson. We knew that one.
I don't think this is such a good idea, Tommy.
Who's that?
Tommy Pickles and
Well,
Chucky.
it's Rugrats. Yeah, Chucky.
Yeah.
We can do SpongeBob. No, I always I did a lot of voices. Doing funny voices was kind of like my thing. And it was easier when I was younger and I wasn't.
Yo, that's amazing.
She's got some voices.
Yeah.
What else you hiding under that cloak you got going on over there? Any other voices?
Cloak? It's my dream to be the original voice of a cartoon. That would be.
Wow.
I do a lot of dubbing from like Russian cartoons and Korean cartoons, but doing an original Disney, being a Disney character that turns into a plush toy.
There you go.
Dream.
That's
Eureka.
good. My first
And I
job.
was gonna ask you if you do some voices, but okay.
No, I do not do voices. I can't sing. Don't do voices.
You probably speak English perfect, but you're doing a nice little Albanian accent to give the sex appeal.
Listen, no, I don't even try. That's the thing.
I'm
I'm
kidding.
trying to not do it.
Your first
I don't
job,
try,
and was
actually.
it in America or
It was in
Albania?
America. My first job ever. I was 15 and a half, and I was a bus girl. Basically, I was helping a server clean out tables.
I like how you said a bus girl. Yeah, you're not a
I
bus
don't know
boy.
if
Yeah,
Right.
The
It's
job
kinda
is a bus
bullshit.
boy, but I guess
Exactly,
a
it's
bus
kinda
girl.
Never
bullshit.
heard bus girl.
So-
but
So
yeah.
you're not scared to work. You're not
No,
scared
I'm
to clean
definitely not
tables.
scared to work. Definitely
You're
not
not
I
scared
did that
to wait.
also all through
Yeah.
college, waitress. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Okay.
Definitely not scared to work.
So your
You're-
first job
I
was
feel like
a
everyone
bus girl.
should, by the way.
Should do what?
Waitress, host, being
agree
in customer
100%.
service. It should
Yeah.
be like getting a license to drive.
Well,
In terms of human interaction.
Amber, I actually 100% agree with you because some of the reasons that I have succeeded in the sales world, in
It's
financial
marketing.
sales, is because you got to go up and talk to people and you got to go up to different tables and you got to go,
And know
"Hey,
your audience
Know your
and-
audience, exactly. When you're doing stand-up comedy, read the room, read the crowd. If you're going to do any sort of sales, it wouldn't be a bad idea to start. Working at a restaurant. Speaking of working at a restaurant, you have to clean up and wait on a bunch of different fucking animals. So you have a different perspective. My first job I ever had, I think I was a babysitter when I was 11 years old. Like I wasn't being babysat. I think I babysat kids.
When you were 11?
Yeah, 11 or 12. I remember 6th grade. So
And
whatever
they
that is.
trusted you with children.
Yeah, and then I remember one time I somehow locked us all out of the house. And I remember, like, this is before cell phone days, and I think I had to get in touch with the family. Like, yeah, we were outside playing basketball, and I'm locked out of the house. They had to, like, come back from their date. Anyway, you don't want me babysitting your kids. But so that was the first job. What was the worst job you've ever had?
I used to cut grass. I used to do landscaping a lot. I hated that shit.
Yeah.
It was just so hot, and I never had the proper attire. So, I mean, rocks flying.
What do you
from
mean never proper attire?
I would get my shins busted up from weed whacker and all
Yeah.
the shit's flying and smacking you in your shins. It just wasn't my thing.
Wasn't your thing?
No.
Worst
I did
job.
I did it for some years.
So
but
worst job you ever had was mowing the lawn. It's not a bad job.
It's not
bro.
a bad job.
You have a bad job. I mean, you have to pick up
I enjoy it
kangaroo
now.
shit these days, though.
Yeah.
Is that not what's the worst part of your job now?
There's really no worst part. Shit. Shit just getting rid of shit.
Yeah.
People don't really understand shit until you have a
so
lot
many
of
different kinds.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's all types of shit that I don't want to get into.
Yeah.
Because it's just shit.
I feel like this is like the Forrest Gump thing. Well, there's all types of shrimp out there. We got shrimp scampi. We got sauteed shrimp. There's all types of shit out there. We got kangaroo shit. We got snake shit. All right, so clean up shit.
That's it.
Worst job you've ever had?
It's hard for me to say worst. I feel very privileged even saying it, but just like teaching 2-year-olds dance.
Yeah.
It's pretty rough. Like one kid's peeing, one kid's crying. Trying to get them all to do one thing is just a nightmare. It's just
Dealing with more shit is what it sounds
yeah,
like.
basically.
Worst job.
I mean, I'm only 26 and I've only had 3 jobs.
What are your 3 jobs by age 26?
Well, server. I was
Bus girl.
working at bus girl. I
Bus
was also
down.
a server
Yeah.
later on as well while I was in college. I was also a pharmacy technician while I was in pharmacy school.
Okay.
And right now I do what I love, so I don't think I've had any bad experiences.
Wait,
I
what
mean,
is it that you're doing now?
right now I basically work for myself and do IV Balance Bar Miami, which is just one part, basically a bridge of where we're trying to go. It's a holistic healthcare clinic. Basically, you're focusing on mind, body, soul, but in a holistic way.
Okay.
And yeah, my pharmacy degree has really helped me into realizing what is it that I want to do.
And
So-
you're soon to be a dog owner. Soon.
Yeah, soon, maybe. I don't know
We'll
how
get there.
soon, but yeah, dog owner.
All right. Rapid fire. Brokest you've ever been.
Oh, bro, I've been homeless.
Yeah.
Homeless as fuck. But that probably wasn't the brokest. Probably when I was really young. I remember vividly. My family didn't have enough money to turn the heat on. I come from Rhode Island. It's fucking cold, So we would turn the heat on through the stove. Turn the stove on, open the stove, and stand in front of there. We didn't have hot water.
Stand in front of the stove. Okay.
Yeah.
But that was worse than being homeless?
Yeah, because it was fucking cold. I was homeless in Miami, so it wasn't like.
I always tell people if you're gonna be homeless, just come on down to fucking South Beach.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna get a great tan. You're gonna look good. Your abs are gonna be sick. You might not have a house, but
I didn't have a bad time when I was a kid because my family, took care of me. But I knew,
yeah.
it was rough. But probably when I was homeless. I slept in my car for about 11 months when I said I failed here. You know, I lived in a hotel for a couple of weeks until my money ran out, and then slept in my car. So I was broke as shit.
Did you have animals at that time?
Yeah. I had an anaconda and a pit.
In your car, bro? Hold on.
No,
Mike,
hold on.
Michael Holston.
No way.
Okay.
You
You're
were homeless,
sleeping in your car.
living in your car with an anaconda and a pit bull. I assume the anaconda was in the trunk.
No.
No, right next door to
Hell
me.
no.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Explain that, please.
Well, she had a big.
And by the way, don't just gloss over this story.
I
Nobody
know.
I know has A, been homeless, B, living with animals, and C, with the anaconda.
just animals,
Right,
an
exactly.
anaconda.
So please break this down, Mike.
Yeah, so I moved from Georgia to Miami. You know, I came to visit once, and I was like, bro, I love Miami. I'm going to Miami. I'm not going back to Georgia and staying. I'm going back to Georgia and packing my shit. In a couple weeks, I'm making the move. I'm selling whatever I got to sell, getting rid of all my shit, you know, working whatever I can work and save up because I'm out. And as soon as I had that thought in my head, nothing was going to deter me from coming back once I got there. Unless I was fucking homeless. You know? So I got here and, dude, it was just, I had a motorcycle at the time, a 1964 Impala my uncle gave me, which barely worked, had no registration, no insurance. And my grandma had gave me some money. It was like $2,500. She actually gave me $5,000, and I spent it on a motorcycle. And it was supposed to be for
Living.
It was supposed to be because I was doing really good at my job at Petland. She's like, hey, here's some money, take it and start your business. Because I came to her with a business plan. And my grandma she always supported me in my crazy animal.
And this is the grandma who had the.
This is my other grandma.
Well, okay, other
grandma, which is also
Yeah.
she's, you know, Tarzan too. But she gave me some money, and I was supposed to do the responsible thing and start my business plan. And
What was your business plan?
it was I was selling baby turtles out of my house. Believe it or not, I would go to like a reptile show, and I would buy turtles for like 25, 50 cents. Baby turtles, like little slider turtles, and I sell it for $25. And
The babies.
Yeah. And if I liked you, I sell them to you for $15.
Hustling.
You know, so
Great markup right
but
there.
I would have to drive to South Carolina to get a bunch of turtles and drive them back, you know, and then sell them from my house, you know. So I told her about my business plan. I was like, hey, I want to get some turtles, but I don't want to get take the money I make and buy a couple other animals that are like already big, and I'll raise them up a little more, and then I'll do birthday parties and educational shows and events, and I'll go around, you know, different schools because I had just graduated high school, and I was part of my zoo club from freshman year to senior year. So my teacher and my principal would vouch for me to give me a certificate to go to other schools to do presentations for science classes, and I would get paid like $100, $300 max to bring my animals and explain to kids or daycares or high schoolers about animals as a zoo club. So
Did you do that?
no, I bought a motorcycle.
So
Still
what's
a
the
boy.
lesson with the business plan? By the way?
What the
Because you
business
had a
plan
bit-
was stick with your business plan.
That was a good
Stick
plan.
with your business plan.
I hope you still do that.
I do it now, but
Okay.
you know, back then I didn't. I took the money and I ended up going on Craigslist and seeing a motorcycle for like $3,800, and I'm like,
I have that money.
Doc, I have $1,200 left. I didn't have that $1,200 yesterday, you know. So I bought the motorcycle, and it was the worst decision ever.
Yeah.
And then I rode it for I crashed it the first day I got it, so it
Oh.
immediately depreciated in value.
Yeah, of course.
I didn't wreck it, but it just
And where were the animals with the bike?
no, I was by myself.
Okay, no anaconda on the.
This
Obviously,
is before I got to Florida.
This before. By the way, there's a couple lessons right there. It's that number one, what I say all the time in finance. There's 50% of finance or your finances is knowledge, and 50% is behavior. Meaning, like you had the knowledge for the business plan, but what did you actually do with the money?
Behavior didn't
Exactly,
match
the
up.
behavior didn't match the business plan and the knowledge. And then secondly, depreciating assets. I'm a big advocate of investing in yourself and in your business and investing in appreciating assets. Lo and behold, depreciating assets, crashing a motorcycle didn't work out. So the business plan. So now, what's your business model these days? You've had your failure.
Yeah.
Now, what's your business model these days?
It's the same thing, but on a bigger scale. Educating is what I love to do. When I was a kid, I was getting taught by Steve Irwin on TV. And then there was a time I was in class and someone came to school with animals and they showed us animals that weren't inside the book or inside TV or at the zoo where you couldn't touch them. He was like, "Here's a snapping turtle. You can touch it." And I'm like, wow, here's a cockatoo, you can touch it. And I'm like, I can touch this thing and learn about it and feel the feathers or feel the shell or hold a snake, you know? And I'm like, dude, I want to be that guy. I want to go to schools or even have a team of people that I can teach or coach, or we can learn together and go out and help other kids get that same feeling, because I know the feeling they gave me, I know other kids have it, you know? So
part of, and I want to get you guys ladies, part of what I think is amazing about you, bro, and this is what I encourage a lot of people to do, is the debate is, should you pursue your passion or should you pursue money? Pursue your passion or pursue money? When I was in my early 20s, I couldn't give two shits about money. That's the ironic thing, that I ended up in finance and hosting a financial show, is that I was just about pursuing my passions. I was a stand-up comedian. I did nightlife in South Beach. I was a substitute teacher. I worked at a sports agency. I was just doing shit that I wanted to do until I was like, holy crap, I'm sick of living on my friends' couches. Let me go make some money. And basically I entered that, you know, the financial world. It took me years to cut my teeth and, you know, make it in the finance world. A decade later, I'm like, holy shit, I'm a millionaire. This is insane. I was sleeping on couches 10 years ago. Now I have like a legitimate business and a legitimate business model. And then after that happened, I went back to pursuing passions that I had. I opened up a stand-up comedy club next to Bodega in South Beach called Ricky's. So we did that and nightlife stuff with Bodega in Miami, if you're ever down there. But then I kind of circled back to my passions, and now I'm working on something that I'm passionate about, which is having conversations with people regarding what their passions are in finance and financial wellness and dating and relationships. So ultimately, I'm giving you that big spiel right there to ask you, like, how do you balance your passion, which is clearly animals, but also making enough money so you could freaking feed your animals? How do you balance the passion and the money?
Well, my whole passion, my whole life is animals, you know, so I got to make a way, you know, to find out how to feed myself and feed them, and it's through animals, through my passion. And you can have thoughts of making millions of dollars all you want, you know, but if you don't have the work ethic or the drive to want to go through whatever you got to go through, because chasing money, you're going to get to a point where whatever the fuck you're going through just ain't worth it for the money.
Right.
You know, you just don't want to go through it anymore. You don't want the stress. You don't want the pressure to keep going forward sometimes. And if your end goal in that situation is just money, you're going to break. You're always going to break. If you have a passion, something that, like, you'll fucking die doing it. Are you able to curse on here?
Yeah.
Sorry. If you're going to die doing it, you can go through your lowest point in your life and you're just not going to give up. And then that can turn a whole different side of you into being hungry, disciplined, having your behavior match your finances, you know, when you do get another shot, you know, and then your money is going to triple, quadruple. You're going to make more money than you ever thought you're going to make in your life if you're chasing your passion, because you have the drive, the work ethic, the discipline, dedication, and the durability to go through anything. You're going to have your mountains and your valleys. And if you're going to go through mountains and valleys in life, you got to have a passion to keep you going.
Do you think that there's a specific balance that you need to have? Meaning, like, some people are passionate about basketball. They love basketball, but they're never going to make it to the NBA. So it's like at some point they need to, like, all right, well, maybe you become a coach or an assistant or whatever. Or maybe, you know, like, if you're, I know people especially in the financial world, they're just all about the money, all about the money. They work in Wall Street. They get freaking burnt out within 5-7 years. They're out of it. So there does need to be a balance, meaning, yes, pursue something you're passionate about, but if you're not making money doing it, you need to pivot. But also, if you're just focusing on the money, it's going to, like you said, you're going to burn out because you're not passionate about it. Do you think that that's, like, for instance, like the 80-20 rule? You need to have 80% passion, 20% money. Is there a balance that comes to mind? What do you think?
I believe so. You know, me, I'm just a natural born hustler, you know, so I'm going to make a way. If I got paid $20 when I was a kid for cleaning up cricket poop, that $20 is $20 million. You couldn't convince me I couldn't make $1 million or $100 million picking up cricket poop in the future, you know, but that's just my mindset of being a passionate person inside my workspace.
So passion is more important than money for you.
For
but
me,
money is important, though,
for sure.
obviously. Amber, go ahead.
I'm like, I don't need much, you know.
Right.
I'm an animal guy.
You're a minimalist at heart, would you say?
Freaking minimalist, dude. You know, I have stuff. When I do have too much stuff, I'm like, dog, get it out of here. Take it. I have a lot of siblings. I'm oldest of 10, so I'm always giving shit away.
Oldest of 10, by the way.
Wow.
I'm always giving shit away. If I accumulate too much stuff, I was homeless before, you know, so I know what it is to be like on on the other end of a lifestyle. When you're living
What
in
does
the
it mean
street,
to be a minimalist to you?
bro, get rid of that shit. You know, if I have 15, 20, 30 pairs of shoes, after a few months, I'm like, dog, give me 5 shoes, fucking take them.
Yeah.
You know, if I got shirts in my closet or stuff I'm accumulating over, I'm like, take it, give it away. Let's give it to the home. Like,
What about jewelry, cars,
never
clothes,
in
that
my
kind
life
of really?
I've ever bought jewelry.
It's not something you're into.
Okay, I lied. I bought a couple things when I'm traveling.
Yeah.
It's like $8, $13 to get a
But
little ring or
there's-
something.
Those
you
are,
know?
I would call those mementos, not jewelry.
Yeah.
Mementos.
Yeah.
Right.
I never in my life
Gotcha.
would spend money on jewelry, like
Gotcha.
unless I'm buying a diamond for my wife for getting married, you know, or presents for her. But
Gotcha.
I'm not a big fan.
Well,
of
we're gonna
jewelry.
get into some relationships in a sec. Amber, let's because I know you're very passionate about what you do.
You just said something that hit it on the head for me. When you're passionate, you don't need much. I felt the same way my whole life. Like, I don't need things because I am fed.
Yes.
My soul is fed every day by what it is that I'm doing, that I really don't need these material things. And I'll figure out a way to make it work. Like, even if it's my passion and it's adjacent to my passion, but it's still something that I'm doing. Like, yeah, I'll hustle. I'll do a voiceover for $20 and then go teach a dance class and then go do stand-up comedy for 3 drink tickets. But I don't care. I have
And you
so
don't even
much,
drink.
I don't even drink. I have so much energy for the things that I love that I'm not sitting there at the end of the day being like, oh, stressed, I don't have this money financial plan. I know I'll work it out.
Yep.
As long as I'm happy and I'm waking up every day excited, I don't need things. It's just such a pleasure from the last week, you versus the guys we had last week, because to me, they were educated and they had statistics and they had knowledge, but I didn't feel an ounce of passion. And I can't relate to people who don't. I mean, I can relate to you, sure, but I feel you. The way you talk about animals, I feel that. It's not about animals for me, but when you are filled with passion, you don't have room for bullying. Like,
Yep.
bullies aren't passionate about anything. That's why they have anger. Like, you just want to focus on what it is that you do. And yes, I definitely need to figure out eventually how I'm going to make this sustainable. Right now, it's easier for me because I'm not supporting a group of animals. I'm feeding myself.
Hey, you do have a dog that's 15 years old and a
Yes,
goldfish, I believe.
it's
So
true. So eventually when I become a mother or I have my own tribe, I'm going to have to be able to support them and not just my own needs. But because my needs are so minimal, it's been very easy for me to get to this point in my life, surviving on just what it is that I do that I love, because I'm not thinking about things that I want that are material. I'm also never bought jewelry. Don't ever buy me jewelry if you date me. Don't do it. I'll lose it. 'Cause I don't
guys,
care.
I know out there you've been sliding in Amber's DMs. Do not come at her
Oh,
with
the guys sliding in
jewelry.
my DMs are not trying to buy me jewelry. They're trying to. They told me that I was too masculine.
Don't listen to the haters.
Anyway, I
yeah.
don't buy things like that. For me, I'm like, let's go to a show. Let's see
Okay.
some art.
Yeah.
I'm just,
Beautiful.
I feel you. So hard.
Eureka, you, I believe you said you were becoming a pharmacist, career, money, but you
To
more
me-
went to your passion, which is the health and wellness. Explain that.
100% your passion, because you are born with it. You are born with all this abundance. You just have to figure it out to get it, right? So I agree with 100% with both of you guys, and I can see the passion. But that technically goes back to finding your purpose, right? You have figured out why you are brought here, and now you have the way of doing it. Again, you might not have figured out the financial way, but now that's very easy to figure it out as well, with especially cryptocurrency.
Oh, are you a crypto gal?
I am a crypto gal.
All
I'm
right,
a hex girl.
We'll have to invite you on when we do
Richard
a crypto
Hart,
episode.
I
Okay?
definitely, because that's what I'm doing right now with myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
I quit pharmacy, which you make very good money. You start 6 digits right away. I quit pharmacy. Everybody was freaking out in my family. You just moved to Miami. How you're going to afford this and that? And I'm like, you know what? Being in the pharmacy, it's making me stop who I am, right? I'm not fulfilling my dream. I'm not fulfilling my purpose, which is definitely to work with people on an emotional level. And I've been lucky enough to have found that purpose, right? But my main goal is my clinic, because I cannot afford my clinic right now. And I don't want to go the investor way, because I want to make sure I have the say on myself. I found Hex, and it's been amazing. And in 2 years, I'll be able to afford my clinic all by myself without anybody. So yes, I spent some time just becoming financially literate, and basically figuring out what works for you, and just kind of putting that energy, that abundance that is there, just playing with money. And yeah, you can definitely do it. We can also talk afterwards as well.
She's selling you on this right now.
But no, everybody.
Yeah. Well, here's what I'm realizing. We have 3 people who are basically saying, pursue your passion, money will come. And we have one person over here that's saying, know what your passions are.
And then when you have enough money,
if you can't make any money on that, focus on the money, but never lose sight of the passion. So we're kind of like 80% passion, 20% money. Anyway.
It's about the journey.
Speaking of money, let's do a quick little rapid fire with Mike. Rapid fire, first things that come to mind. You say what's going on. We'll get some input. When did you first realize that you can make a career out of the animal?
When I moved to Florida. Mm-hmm. When I came here, I said, there's no way I'm not going to make it. You know, there's just not a shot. There's sharks on South Beach. There's sharks on South Beach. There's alligators in the Everglades. There's iguanas on 95. There's pythons down the street in Kendall. Like, you cannot, there's parrots and macaws flying around. You can't tell me I'm not going to make it in Florida. Doing what I do.
Yes.
You know? Like,
That's so funny.
there's got to be some way, somehow, I'm going to do it.
Top 2 or 3 sources, like how do you monetize your brand right now?
Brand deals, my own products I put out, monetizing from ad space on YouTube, Instagram, you know, all this, anything.
On education?
I don't get really paid for school shows and events because it's not like a money thing, and it's you can't put a price on that, you know.
Right.
You know what I get out of it. It's just so fulfilling. Like you said, it just. I mean, you're gonna charge us. You think I'm gonna charge a Catholic school $500?
No.
You know, it's like, bro, keep the money.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like buy the kids some lunch or get us some pizza or something while we're doing our show. You know, so we can have fun. But you know, stuff like that is what.
Gotcha. First time you made an amount of money that made your jaw drop. What was that story? You're like, holy shit, I can't believe this just happened. What was that?
My first deal I did with Foot Locker, I got like $100,000, like first year working on social media, you know?
Yeah.
And I went from making $400 a week,
right?
You know, for
I believe you did an ad campaign for Foot Locker. David, if you could put up Mike Holston Foot Locker, I'm sure it'll pop right up.
Yeah.
Explain that too.
It's just, you know, going back to the passion thing, you know, like where I'm working at and what I'm doing in my life there's no money in it. There's you can't look at anybody on TV and be like, yo, that motherfucker's rich and doing what I'm doing, because there's no money in it.
There's no money in the animal game.
There's no money in the animal game, you know.
You got to get the corporate sponsors out there.
The most money you're going to make looking at an animal, anyone that wants to do animals, you're going to be a veterinarian. You're going to make $60,000 to maybe $90,000 a year. Being a vet tech, I'm cool. I don't want to be a vet tech, you know.
Did you ever go to school?
I wanted to. I never could afford it.
Good thing you didn't go.
Yeah.
You did not miss much.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'll tell you that.
I want to go back to school though one day.
Don't waste your money.
What do you want to go back to school for?
Herpetology.
Herpetology.
Yeah, that's what I always wanted to do since a kid.
Plants.
Herpetologist is just a person that studies reptiles and amphibians.
Oh.
Gotcha.
You know, and I want to do botany too.
And back to the jaw dropping story with Foot Locker. Explain this right here.
So yeah, man. Welcome to the Tarzan Show.
Hey.
We're excited to see each other. This guy is called the Panther Chameleon, the most colorful chameleon in the world. His eyes, they can see in front of him and behind him at the same time. That's called vision. 20 years ago, my vision was set with animals. My love for sneakers stems deep. I take them out in the wild. I clean elephant poop in them. I jump in canals to save turtles. The whole 9. So if I buy some shoes that everybody's drooling over and they want to put them on ice, I'm not that guy. Communication with animals, I started when I was a kid. If you have good energy, you have a good heart, these animals can sense more than we can sense. Studying them, being around them, they became my best friends. These little frogs down here, they're called dumpy tree frogs. They actually turn blue. The bluest ones only have one eye. They call them cyclops frogs. OGs of the jungle meet the OGs on our feet. OG hyper blue. Discover your air.
Wow.
Sick, bro.
Boom.
Look at that.
Very sick.
At that
Everything you do is on brand with who you are. Like
Just,
that
like,
didn't
have
feel
fun,
forced or fake
But
at
like
all.
you can feel his heart.
I love it.
Looking at your smile,
I
and
just
I just
love it. I can't
Amber,
believe it.
he's got a girlfriend. All right,
Okay.
so let's go easy on the man. We're gonna get into that. All right, Mike. Couple more things.
Yeah.
How do you budget for all your animals? You got
There's
a
no
lot of
budget
animals
for my
over there. How does it
animals.
work?
There's no budget for the animals. There's none.
So it's just you
Spoils
spend
them.
what you got to
Like,
spend. You're not figuring it like.
Just like
but
I
what
have to constantly work to
Yeah.
figure out new ways to make more money because I just want to give them the best life possible. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so like I'm not gonna say, hey, you have like you after this you're done. You know, it's like, bro, how can I look at my dog and say, yo, I'm not gonna get you the best food I
Mm-hmm.
can possibly get? I freaking love you. I will go get you all the food you want. You want chew toys, you want coconuts, you want fresh water. I'm gonna give it to you. If I'm gonna figure it out.
And you have how many animals in total, give or take? 100, more, less?
100 animals.
So that's got to cost 10 grand a month, more or less. I don't even
why
know.
am I gonna count it?
So you don't even worry about it.
Why am I gonna
You don't
count
even
it?
count the numbers.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, you kind of.
You think I want that hurt in my heart to see that number? I don't want to see.
You don't even want to see the number.
I don't want to see the number, and I don't want to ever have a thought in my mind of saying I wouldn't spend this type of money
Well,
on you
let me
because
get a thought for you. Let's say you can get a brand. Let's just hypothetically speaking to pay for all your expenses to feed your animals, and your brand sponsors you, and they say, well, how much do you want for us to feed your animals? You got to have a number in mind. You got to say, well, it costs me 20 grand a month to feed the animals. So brands, we're looking at you out there. We're going to figure that out. We'll circle back to this.
10
No?
dogs,
10 dogs.
25 snakes,
Yes.
30 lizards.
Yes.
I mean, I don't even know how many turtles
Do you
I
have
got.
names for all of them?
Yeah.
All of them?
Mostly all of them.
Okay.
You know, some snakes I don't really name all my snakes.
Okay.
Some have different names because they're special.
Special.
You know.
They're special.
What's the next animal that you're gonna get? Sorry, Adam.
Yeah, it's okay.
I want a hippo. But you know, you can't
Baby
have
hippos
everything
are
you
so
want,
cute.
right?
Oh my God.
Hippo. Is there any chance you could get a hippo?
100%.
Wow.
Do I need a hippo? No. Should I have
Wow.
a hippo? Absolutely not. Do I want a hippo? For sure.
So, David, I hope you're on the ones and twos over here. When you first started, out, boom, we talked about that. I met you when you had like 50,000 Instagram followers. Now you're
Yeah.
at 6 million. You caught fire very quick, and you got the attention of people like Diddy. Mm-hmm. And you started doing some
Shout
stuff
out
with
to
Diddy.
P. Diddy.
Exactly.
Love.
Explain your relationship with Diddy, what he's done for you, and what he's helped,
Man, I
build
can
your
go
brand
all
and
day.
brand deals.
I
Yeah,
love
if you could.
Diddy, man. I love the Combs family. They literally are like extended family. They've
Mm-hmm.
given me life. They've given me love. They brought me in as their own. They supported my dreams and my goals before they even knew me,
Mm-hmm.
So it was big to meet someone like P. Diddy, and let alone his family. His kids are like my brothers. His family is my family. He's just he's a great role model to have, someone to talk to, a great figure in life. Some people know him from the outside, but when you're on the inside and you see him actually work, I mean, it's just amazing. And actually be a dad and be a mentor and be a business owner, it's just, it's cool to see that level of expertise flow out of someone so effortless with passion and, still have time for someone on the outside. They don't know me a couple years ago, but as soon as we got to hang out and meet, just off the rip,
What comes, like, everyone knows Diddy. I believe we have a video right here.
Yeah.
But my question on the other side of this is,
We can't play the video, but we can just show the
okay, gotcha. We can't play the video. All right, we don't want to get it taken down. But anyway, that's you with what? Diddy's kids?
Yeah, Diddy went on Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah,
and
okay,
just
this-
gave mad love,
Can you show the next frame, or you can't even show the video? Anyway, there it is. Diddy's. Okay, sick. Right,
Yeah, the man himself.
And he's on Jimmy Kimmel on freaking ABC talking about you, bro.
Yeah, man.
How does that make you feel, knowing that he could talk about anything? He's talking about you.
Just, I mean, imagine being a kid listening to Biggie Smalls and Diddy, and then like one day he's on Jimmy Kimmel giving you a thumbs up, giving you the blessing. It's
Take that.
What? It's I'm a bad boy for life.
Have to be at this point.
Like literally.
What do you think? Everyone knows Diddy. Everyone knows his songs. Everyone knows, the famous scene of him like throwing down the phone. He's like, give me something. I got this, or whatever. I'll do whatever I want. Everything like that. People know Diddy like that. What is the one thing that people don't know about Diddy that you've learned?
Bro, he's love. Nothing but love, pure energy. I think he changed his name to Love. And that's all he is, man.
Wow.
He is like, people see on the outside, again, a business mogul, someone that's completely motivated, someone that's scary, but the guy's love, man. He's just straight up love. Everybody that works with him, everybody around him, love him, and he loves them back.
Wow.
You know, and it's so cool to see that, you know, from his personal assistants to his kids to people on out. I mean, everybody loves Diddy, you know, because he literally is a walking energy of love. You know,
you've also been fortunate enough to meet some major celebs. Will Smith.
Yeah.
Who comes to mind of like, holy shit, I can't believe I'm meeting these people.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Like, I have Mike Tyson tattoo on my finger.
That's Iron Mike. Can we scroll in on this? Iron Mike. Put that out there. So yeah, explain
that. It gives
that.
you an idea of how much I love someone like Mike Tyson. You know?
Pat PBD just interviewed Tyson in Vegas. I was there. This was, I don't know, a few months ago. And the one story that I'll never forget about Tyson is he said, Pat asked him, when did you know that you were going to be a world champion? He said, I was 14 years old. And he goes, 14? He's like, who were you even fighting at that point? And he goes, no, in order to become the champion, you must be the champion. And it was all about his championship mindset. And then he tells this story about how he was fist fighting kids I'm sure we could play this. He was fist fighting kids at 12 years old, beat the shit out of the kids, and the father shows up and he starts beating the kid's father's ass. Like, that's Mike Tyson. That's who you have, tattooed on your fingers right there. Yeah. So you've met Tyson. What did Tyson mean for you?
I mean, it's like put an adult male lion in here and lock the vault.
Right.
That's what it feels like being next to Mike Tyson.
Straight up.
You know, it's like
in a good way.
In a good way.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, because he's being nice to you. You know, it's Iron Mike, the most ferocious fish. Like,
let me tell you. So I was there. We were backstage because I was with Pat. We were putting this whole event together. Shout out to Mike Tyson and PBD. And backstage, I was talking with them, and I was like, "Yo, Mike, can we get a picture?" And we were sitting there just like that. And I go, "Yeah, can you give me one of these?" Like, while he's like, "Man, I ain't trying to fight you, man. Put your fist down, baby. Like, shake my hand." I was like, "Whatever you say, Mike." But like, he could have did this, but no, he was just like, "No, man, I just."
Peace and love.
Did smell like weed though. Respect. He could have passed me the joint. That's fine, but he didn't want to share that. Okay. Anyone else come to mind that you're like, holy shit? Will Smith, Mike Tyson. Who else comes to mind that you've met?
Let me see. This guy named Robbie Brettle. He's a barefoot bushman out in Australia. Mm-hmm. He's like one of the OG Steve Irwins before Steve Irwin.
Robbie Brettle.
Robbie
How do you spell the name?
Bredl. You actually can look him up on if you want to.
David's on the ball. He's on it.
I mean, like, Robbie Brettle is, if there's a Tarzan or something out there, it's that guy.
It's that guy.
Gotcha.
Robbie
He's from
Brettle.
Australia.
Okay.
He's I think I'm right on the number, but I think he spent 15 years outside.
15 years outside.
Like,
just
not living in
outside.
a house.
Not homeless.
Not homeless, living
but just
outside.
living outside. All right, David, I don't know if you can find this guy, Robbie
No
Brettle.
shoes. With the Aboriginals.
You've met, obviously, some crazy celebrities. You're tight with Diddy. You got Mike Tyson. You know, you did hot boxing with Tyson. What's the biggest lesson you've learned from internet fame? This is Robbie Brettle.
Pull up that first photo.
Oh my god.
That's insanity.
Like, look at that photo.
So big.
So, wow, that's insane. So back to the question. The biggest lesson you've learned from internet fame, what would it be?
Be yourself. Fuck the internet. Be yourself. The internet is filled with a lot of untrue things. Mm-hmm. You know, the internet is a fake world. It's not real. You may see real things that are actually happening, but be yourself.
Be yourself.
Because
Ladies,
it can let it consume you. You can let internet can take over you and consume you. So be yourself.
thoughts on that, ladies? Because a lot of ladies out there won't be themselves on the internet. You know, filters. And
sure.
You did a really funny thing about filters and all that. What are your thoughts on being yourself?
Like, the truth is, I know I would have a lot more followers if I did videos twerking in a bikini or like exposing my body, but it's just not me. And I've been teaching kids for a really long time, so I really like take pride in being a role model. So fuck followers. Like I'd rather always be the genuine, like, good role model. And just catching a little bit of the hype from being on these podcasts and getting the messages. Like, I try not to care about what people think, but it is hard being like a sensitive, empathetic person and seeing all these hate. And then I have to remind myself, I'm like, I dare you to get on stage and tell jokes in front of thousands of people.
Exactly.
Like, you can just
As
hate
Drake
on
once
me.
said, trigger fingers turn to Twitter fingers.
Right.
And now everyone's tough and they got Twitter on the,
100%.
Your thoughts?
I agree with everyone. I mean, we need to understand that on the internet, we're not going to post our sad days. We're not going to post us crying. Like, you're not going to post. You're basically only going to post your good days.
You're only showing your wins.
Exactly. So be your authentic self. That will take you anywhere. I mean, even with the phone call with you yesterday, I was telling you that's the only thing you have to be, because nobody is like you. Nobody is you, and you just have to realize that. Once you realize that, everything else comes just so easy. So you don't really care about what other external forces are coming into your way, as long as you truly have connected to you, right?
Yep.
Figuring out who you are and who you're not. And yeah, reality is for all of us, we would get so many more followers if we were to, just be
Do
like
what they want.
98% of the
Because
females
I was
are
actually
doing nowadays.
considering getting some lips done and stuff like that just to kind of look better, but I don't know. You're telling I'm just gonna be myself, y'all.
But it's all definition. It's all what better means to you, right? It's all
Yeah.
about, again, what does better mean to you? To me, better means to be my authentic self, to not have my lips done, to be how my parents brought me here and Mother Nature brought me here, just connect to nature, right? So you cannot be natural unless, I'm not against it. They do what they want. I just think that it's a deeper issue that we're trying to suppress. So yeah, you want your lips to get bigger because you want to look better, but what is it that you don't like about it? And yeah, your lips are just the trigger, but what's inside you that you need to figure it out. It's much deeper than just your external things that you're doing. So
Well said, young lady.
So yeah, I think
Good
it's
job.
all about figuring out who you are and who you're not. But
Wow.
Are we
meditating.
wrapping up,
Okay.
Adam?
We're gonna wrap up in the next 10 minutes.
I have a question for.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Have your relationships, have girls ever like complained to you that they don't feel like you love them as much as you love your animals? Yeah. I that's like 100% the first thing that I thought of.
That's
Really?
honestly, it's one of the main issues.
Okay.
It's time.
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 But also your expression of love. Do you are you as loving with your partners as you are with your animals? Because I know a lot of men like that I've dated personally, they feel more free showing love and affection to animals that don't have to reciprocate it back in the same like way, and then to women they're a little bit more cold. Like they feel more free to express themselves.
Yeah, it's like that. I love snakes. I love snakes. There's snakes that don't love me, and I love them. So to go through that emotional attachment of saying, "Hey, you're biting the shit out of me, in my face. You're shitting on me. You're wrapping me up. You're giving me stitches and teeth. I love you." Your woman wants that same type of love.
Unconditional.
But why are you biting me? Why are you yelling at me? Why, but like, I love you, but eventually the snake and myself become best friends. Even though it tried to kill me probably for the first year of us having our relationship, but now we're best friends where I can say, "Hey, here you go."
So even a relationship with the snake can grow.
Exactly. I want to have my same relationship with my partner to grow. We got to be best friends, but that requires time, and I have a lot of animals and they require my time because I love them, so if I have a woman in my life, I have to love you the same amount and give you the same amount of time that I know requires to have that best friend type of bond.
Wow.
Whether we hate each other or we're trying to figure each other out. I get some animals, and off the rip, we're just in love with each other for our whole lives, whole experience. And when the animal passes away, I'm an emotional wreck for months because a piece of my love is gone that I can't get back. The same thing if I worked with an animal for months and months and months, and it's finally my best friend, and I had him for 15 years, 10 years, 5 months. Once it's gone, I'm an emotional wreck because my love is gone. I can't get that same type of love back. So I guess with my partner, I have to give that same type of.
It's not as easy for you?
It's easy for me, but I come off as cold, because it's like.
She's seen you with the snakes.
Yeah.
But because the snakes are cold-blooded, baby. You cold-blooded.
But I'm a heavy lover, man. Love. Love,
Is there any animal you don't like?
Me and ants got a problem.
You and ants.
Me and ants.
Of all animals, why ants?
I mean, we don't got a problem, but we got a problem. You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna take it outside.
No,
Okay, so
literally, like
ants.
they just bite me all the time.
Yeah,
I
they think
love.
you're sweet.
I love ants, dude.
But
They're cool.
Yeah.
You actually perfect segue because we got about I don't know a little less than 10 minutes left. We talk relationships. This is a dating relationship money type show. You're Tarzan. Who is your ideal Jane?
Ideal Jane. Jane is exactly who she's supposed to be. A wild animal herself, just fully the queen of the jungle. Mm-hmm. You know, that's a Jane. Am I gonna have a Jane in my life? I don't know. Is there a Jane out there? Maybe. It's 7 billion people.
Yeah.
You know, I have a girlfriend now. You know, is she Jane? She loves animals. You know, she does everything she can.
She'd have to.
You know, and that's any person in my life. You're gonna be in my life. You gotta love animals because I come with the animals. I am the animal. You know, I'm bringing it with me. So
How do you balance the relationship with the animals? Also, like taking care of your girl, taking her on dates.
It's a lot.
You know,
It's
split.
hard.
Money stuff. How do you
says
allocate your time with the animals
it's a
and the
fight,
girlfriend?
honestly.
How's that work?
It's a fight. It's always been a fight. You know, just fighting for time, fighting for bed space. I want my
think-
dog in my bed. You know, like
Hey, baby, you gotta sleep on
I
the
don't care
couch. I
how
need the
fine
dogs
you
in here.
are. I don't care what you look like. I don't care how much you sweet talk me. If you don't let my dog sleep in the bed, we ain't gonna have nothing, ever.
That's so funny.
And he don't gotta be in the bed every night.
Yeah.
You know, but if my dog's looking at me and it's like, Dad, I need cuddles. Like, he's coming. I'll give him a bath. I ain't telling you to let my dog go outside and be all nasty and jump in the. That's nasty. I'm giving my dog a bath and he's sleeping with us.
Oh wow.
My cats need to be in the bed.
So how many people are in the bed, including you and your girl? How many animals?
There's 5 souls in I'm
A couple snakes, a couple dogs. Ladies, who is your ideal Tarzan?
You want to go first?
Yeah, I think I found mine actually. I think I found the love of my life. And for me, it's somebody who's willing to grow, who can meet me as deep as I've met myself. And in order for somebody to meet me as deep as I've met myself, they've had to done a lot of work.
So the guy that you're speaking of, it's more of a soul deep type of thing, or is it more of
I knew I was going to be with him, and within 5 minutes I met him.
And how long have you guys been together?
With 3 months.
Okay.
But no, genuinely, it's just very soul-fulfilling. It's a very meaningful
Does he know how you
relationship.
feel?
He knows exactly how I feel.
He does now.
Of course, I communicate
Yeah,
with
of course,
him.
he knows now.
He knows now.
And how many people are in your bed? Just you and him? You got
Just
any animals in there?
Me and him, no animals.
Okay.
I don't think I would do
No
that.
random gerbils, nothing like that.
No matter how much I love animals,
Okay.
I don't think I can put them in my bed.
No?
Like, no, I don't.
It's okay. It's not for
like, you
everybody.
can't kiss me, and then you cannot be in my
Yeah.
bed. But I will hug you.
Well, I remember a few years ago, I was dating a girl, and her dog slept in her bed. And she's like, come on, you're going to stay over? And I'm like, all right, so now I'm like, with the dog. I'm like, it's your dog, baby girl. Like, and I was like, yeah, I can't do it. It's not my kid. It's I'm not raising that dog. So it didn't work out.
Jane's got to love God and animals more than she loves me. For me to love her. I love her.
Wow.
So,
Repeat
yeah.
that one more time.
intense.
I'm sorry, I missed it.
Jane has got to love animals and God more than she loves me.
Wow.
For me to love her like I'm supposed to love her.
Okay.
You know? And of course herself.
Fair enough.
Gotcha. And Amber, let's not skip over you. Who's your ideal Tarzan?
Well, you know.
And he's taken, by the way, because I know you're kind of like soul smitten.
No,
over
but
there.
actually, a lot of insights this episode, because the more you talk about your passion, I've always said I need to be with a passionate guy, but being with somebody who's passionate means that they're not going to be maybe as loving towards you or give you that same energy. So maybe you want a guy who makes money and can save some of that passion for you. I don't know. Is there room?
Save that passion. Save that money. There it
Is there a healthy relationship that exists where two people are both obsessed with what they do and they can still support each other and give that love and energy? I don't know. I've always dated people who are in the same kind of hustle as me because we shared a passion. But
I agree.
But that definitely helps because you automatically have so much to relate on, and then you can create together. But it's just interesting because I don't know if I've met like a guy who's as passionate as you, which is it's you radiate, and I'm not like fangirling here, like you say. I feel you.
Yeah.
It's light. It's light when you're passionate. You
I would give my life
light.
for animals. You know, like I would die for them.
That's passion to the nth
the extreme.
degree.
To the core.
But that's
I'm not
why
dying for stand-up comedy.
But at the
just
end
to
of the
be clear.
day, if you, to your initial point, if you didn't want to be picking up cricket crap and elephant dung and like at some point you'd be like, dude, this is the fucking worst. You would have let it go years ago. You're like, no, this is my DNA.
This is
baby.
That's what I wanted to
supposed to
also
do.
talk
Yeah.
about. Our families influence our passions so much. Like I've come from a long line of artists. Like there was no chance I was going to be a doctor unless I was like, I need to do something different and rebel. But like your family influences and the people that pass down businesses, that's a whole other thing, right? But we need to keep passion in the family because then we're gonna keep breeding artists and breeding people who with passion and not just capitalism. Sorry.
I pray that you are as passionate about your comedy and your voices as you are as Mike is with his animals, okay?
It's
I butchered that
definitely
voice.
inspiring.
All right, we got about 5 minutes left, and what I want to talk to you, Mike, is about what I talk to everybody once they've reached a certain status where they've start to, the budget and money and saving, investing, and all that fun stuff. At the end of the day, everyone is here to leave a legacy. So what I want to talk to you about is your legacy and basically what's next for you. So one of the things I always say is health is wealth. And I focus on the big three. Every morning I get up and I say my affirmation and I focus on my health, my wealth, and my happiness. Without your health, you have nothing. And if you don't have any wealth, like where are you going in life? But at the end of the day, you want to be happy. So health, wealth, and happiness. So you're as fit as I've ever seen you, bro. When we first started hanging out, you were a little chubbier.
Yeah.
You didn't have abs.
I was
Now
230.
Exactly. Now you're what?
Like 215 right now.
Gotcha. So and you're in great shape.
And I'm still overweight. So
Okay, but the point is you're in shape. You're in great shape. You're training. I've seen you boxing a lot lately. I think at one point you were calling out like Belfort to fight him.
Yeah.
So my question is, and we'll get to the legacy thing. Are you training to fight? And if so, are you going to be the first person to knock out Jake Paul? Because I could see that happening. Mike,
I love
what's
Jake
the deal?
Paul. I love
You
Jake
do.
Paul.
You're a
Yeah.
Jake Paul fan.
Yes, I am.
Really?
It's a good
So
friend of mine.
you would not knock him out.
If you're gonna fight, for sure, but like person to person, I
Yes.
love Jake and Logan. They're
Really?
great friends of mine. They've shown support way before
Okay.
Instagram days.
Cool.
And me on the way up. So I would never come, badmouth a guy just for publicity,
Right.
because that's just against the man code,
100%.
But yeah, for sure, I love fighting, I love boxing,
Yeah.
martial arts, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, all that stuff, man.
This is
I
separate
like
from
to compete.
animal stuff. This
Yeah.
is just a competitive.
Well, that's the inner
Yes.
animal in me.
What is that?
You know,
Yes.
that's just I want to fucking go.
Right.
Like
Well, you play football,
Are you in
I've
my
seen-
territory?
Yeah.
You sniffing my girl? What? You want to wrestle? You swimming
Yeah.
in my waters?
What's that switch that you have to hit in order to be a fight? What is that animalistic tendency? What is that?
It's just competition.
Mm-hmm.
Once you like, I'm a whole different person.
Really?
Mentally. I'll die in a treadmill just to beat you.
I think Will Smith at one point said something
exactly.
like that.
Quoting Will Smith right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally die on a treadmill. You just won't beat me.
Wow.
And we talked about team sports earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I played a lot of team sports growing up, but I got my first taste of individual sport where you're held accountable for what you do before your match. You can be on a team and bullshit, which I was great at doing. And that's why I love team sports.
Mm-hmm.
Group projects in school. We got 5 people. All right, I ain't doing shit. I'll show up when it's ready, and you guys just tell me what I need to do the last day. But when they came to an individual sport, wrestling, it's like, yo, if you don't run, you don't do your techniques right, you don't take your time and breathe, you don't do your cardio,
It's on you.
they're gonna whip your ass in front of everybody, and it's one-on-one. Who are you gonna point the finger at? Ain't the quarterback's fault, ain't the point guard's fault, ain't the goalie's fault, it's your fault. So after I got my first taste of that, I'm like, yo.
So where do you see yourself fighting? And do you see yourself actually
the legacy
fighting?
of it is like I want to be a warrior, like I'm a warrior for animals. If I can make money, which I know I can in boxing or MMA or anything, and I can put it towards animals, that's what I'm gonna do. If my dog wants me to buy all the food on aisle 3, we fighting. And I'm in a window right now. All jokes aside, I'm 28. I'll be 32 in 5 years. I got a prime window. Once a male hits 32, he's at his peak physically and mentally. So I know, I'm aware now. It's like, yo, hey, motherfucker, You're 28. If you dedicate the next 5 years of your life, like you did the last 5 years of your life, to just straight animals, look where you got. If you dedicate a little bit of your time, your physical time, working out, I went from 230 down to fucking ripped.
Yep.
If I can do that and be dedicated in an art of martial arts, and I already know I have the fire inside to compete because I love it. And when you throw that and say, why are you competing? It's not for the money for me, it's for the money for my animals. You know, when I say my animals, not my animals in my house. Just like if I can make $40 million fighting and I can say, yo, I'm going to give this gorilla and elephant foundation 30 mil.
Exactly.
That's some badass shit.
It's bad. Well, Disney's business model, I believe it was Pixar or Disney, they said, we don't make movies to make money. We make money to make movies. And that's essentially you, brother. You don't mess with animals to make money. You make money so you can feed your animals. So
exactly. They're my kids. When you're a parent, I'm not a human parent, but I'm an animal parent, and
you got a lot of kids to take care of.
I got kids to take care of that I love dearly, that I give my life for, So there's no in my book for my kids. I'm going to do whatever I got to do, read whatever I got to read, travel wherever I got to travel to, go through wherever I got to go through, work any type of business I got to work to make sure my kids have what they need.
Respect on that. All right, so we're wrapping up. A couple minutes left. I actually, David, I'm not sure if you can pull this up. What do you say? Yeah.
Longest 10 minutes ever.
Well, when Mike's amazing responses, we're not going to cut that off. What I want to talk about right now is it's a little heavy of a topic, but I actually I saw you post on your Instagram that your heart was broken of what's going on in Russia and Ukraine right now.
Yep.
And this is we're not getting all political, and then I Googled the deadliest animals in the world, and humans were number 2.
Mosquitoes number 1.
Mosquitoes are number 1, exactly. But humanity is right up there with the deadliest people who kill the most animals in the world. Mosquitoes, number 1, malaria and everything that happens with that. But humans, number 2. Being that you're such an animal lover and, you care about the environment, you care about animals, and you care about the world, what are your thoughts on what we can do as humans to do better?
Love each other. We got all this, I'm going to quote Tupac. We got all this money for wars, but we can't feed the poor. What the fuck is going on? So much corruption, so much ill will towards other people. Why are we in war in 2022? Really? Come on, man. Why?
It makes them so much money.
And the thing is, it's like we're declining as a morality of a species. Our morals are declining as humans. I'm here to defend the mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are number 1 deadliest animal on the planet because they're transmitting human blood to other humans. The mosquitoes ain't got shit to do with it. It's our nastiness that's making them number 1. We're number 1. We are the plague. We got to fix ourselves. We got to adapt to life on Earth. And going against each other isn't the answer to the problem. We got to find a different solution to coexist with everybody else on the planet, including the animals.
There it is. Love each other. Well, I love you, bro.
You love each other. I love you too. I love you guys, no matter your skin color, where you're from, what you believe in, your political views, that shit don't matter. I'm best friends with a Muslim and a Christian and a Buddhist, or an atheist. It don't matter. There's 7 billion people. We're all different. We're never going to ever be the same from the start of time, from Adam and Eve to the end of time. None of us are never going to be the same. So why are we continuing to fight over what we believe in and what we don't? If someone else got oil or gas or resources, talk to them. Don't just go over there and take it. If the economy is going down and you're the government and you're a part of it and you're not helping the people that are from your country, the people that are born and raised there, shame on you. But they need to be held accountable for that shit. People like Elon Musk said, hey, I got billions of dollars. If someone said, X amount of millions save and cure world hunger, he goes, show me I'll give them the money and show me the receipts.
Yeah, show me the math. Exactly.
They'll
do it.
They ain't going to do it because they're going to get that money and they're going to put it in their pocket. And all people are going to be starving still. Again, we got money for war, but we can't feed the poor.
I agree with you. Love is the answer, but my people, self-love is the cure. Because once you self-love yourself, once you figure out yourself, it's so much easier to love other people, right? because right now we're caught up in the world. You have to love everybody. You have, like, there's so much, you have to do this and should, and like so much burden in our shoulders. But the only cure to anything is self-love. And I strongly believe that because I see how I treat myself 4 years ago. And I mean, I know how I treat myself 4 years ago, and I know how I treat myself now. And the only difference is how much I love myself now. And I'm not talking about in a narcissistic type of love, like superficial love. I'm talking about mind, body, soul connection. And yeah, there's nothing bigger, no higher frequency than love, right? But
I
yeah,
agree.
the cure is definitely, I believe it's.
Well, thank you. Eureka, you crushed it on your first show, you know.
Thank you,
There
guys.
wasn't a lot of controversy. You brought the love. You brought Amber, we're going to wrap up. Give us your final thoughts, your biggest takeaways from
Love,
this
self-love,
episode.
and education. I think we're spending a lot of our eyeball time consuming really mindless things instead of educating. I think our attention spans have diminished. It's hard to read a whole article. It's hard to read a whole book now because we want things in 6 seconds. Swipe, 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 swipe. And I think the combination of love and education is like lethal in the best way.
Boom. Mike, take us out, brother. What's on your mind? What do you want to be known for? What do you want to leave the people with? We'll do something again soon. So, you know, maybe we'll leave a little cliffhanger at the end.
Please bring an animal.
We'll bring some animals next time. But just how you feeling right now?
Just
Final
thank you
thoughts.
for having me. You know, I really appreciate you guys for listening, talking, just going back and forth. It's been fun. You know, it's therapeutic for me to talk because I'm around animals all day.
Yeah.
So sometimes they don't talk back.
Sometimes.
You know, but yeah, it's just it's good to be on here, man. Thank you so much.
Of course, brother.
Love each other. Love yourself.
Yeah.
Same thing Lady said, you know, it's all about love, peace, passion, and just being human, but be more fucking human than not human because the shit we're doing, it ain't right.
Yeah.
We got to fix ourselves, and it starts with self-love. So it starts with, you know,
responsibility,
behavior matching your thoughts.
Yeah,
and your
well,
actions
you know,
and your heart.
I'll say this. I'll sign us out. This is not your typical money show here, all right? You know, the whole premise of what we're doing here on Valuetainment on the Soscast is, yeah, you know, money makes the world go around, but there's a lot more to it. Like I tell myself every morning, I'm focusing on my health, my wealth, and my happiness. And whatever your happiness is, go chase that shit full speed. I believe you said that one time to me. Chase that full speed. But also pursue your passion. But also, you know, money is important. So you have to find that balance. So what we're doing here, hopefully, and people are listening, people are watching, is you're realizing that, yes, you can improve your health. You can improve your wealth. You can improve your happiness. You can get better, smarter, sexier, faster, stronger, and just be better. And a lot of times it does start with self-love. So, I'll say that our slogan is to save that money, which we do. But when you save that money, you can save yourself. You can save the people around you. You can save your animals. You can do everything that you want to
Change
do.
the world, yeah.
But it starts with loving yourself and doing the best thing for yourself. We appreciate you, Mike, for being here. Thank you for opening up your heart and your soul. And Amber, I know you're a little crushing over there, so it's okay. But thank you guys for listening. We will see you next Thursday live. Special guest coming next Thursday. TBD. Until then, save that money.
Peace.